Hello, thank you for listening to and watching Youhadoptions. This episode I have Jesse Clark from Wielded Steel. Very good Birmingham hardcore band.
Metalcore.
Metallic? You said metallic
hardcore.
in the interview?
Metallica cover band.
Oh man. You can ride the lightning with them anytime. They have a new split single with other dope Birmingham hardcore metal band, No Cure.
Yes.
Check it out anywhere you listen to music.
Right. All of it.
What's your Instagram and your
our
Twitters?
Instagram is just, I think it's just at Wielded Steel, and then my Instagram is baby_snoozy.
Okay, yeah. Also a good follow.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening and watching. At youhadoptions on everything. Go to thehandsomescoundrels.com/shop. There's some YouHadoptions shirt on there. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Jesse.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
We've been trying to figure this out for a minute.
Yeah. This is like I don't think I could ever start my own podcast. Like, I respect it, but I feel like I would like run out of shit to talk about. But I've always wanted to be on a podcast.
Yeah.
So
it's fun. For me, it's just been like a tool of being able to meet people and like talk to, because it's like,
sure.
It's like if you just message somebody, like cold message somebody, and you're like, hey, can we talk on the phone for like 45 minutes? You know, if somebody did that to you, you'd be like,
that's true.
I don't know. Probably not.
Podcasting as a form of like social outreach.
Yeah, it was I started during COVID.
Yeah.
And like bands weren't doing stuff, so it's just like everybody's at home.
Talk about some shit for a while.
Just fucking, flail around a little bit.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. The Wielded Steel is your band.
Yes, I do vocals in a band called Wielded Steel.
Sick. Out of Birmingham.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Three of us are here in Birmingham, and the other two live in like North Alabama.
Okay.
But they're cool. Like, they get a pass.
Okay, yeah. Y'all had you'll just put out a split.
Yeah, we did like a split single.
Yeah.
With No Cure, another Birmingham hardcore band, and so I think we're both. I know we're putting out an EP soon.
Okay.
And I think No Cure is as well. And this is like our lead single. We were both going to be releasing like a single to promote the EPs coming out soon, and we were like, oh, we should just do a split.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing any like physical copies of it, unfortunately. It would take like a year and a half to get vinyl made anyways.
Yeah.
So we just put it out with some cool artwork, and we did a song each, and we did a shirt. We have a shirt for pre-order right now. That's really cool. It's like a Napalm Death rip or something like that, I think. But it's pretty cool. It's got all of everybody in both bands' faces on the back.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a split merch made.
I know I've seen a split shirt before.
Yeah.
I just can't remember specifically who it was, but I remember seeing a split shirt. And I like when bands do like fun stuff kind of like with merch, especially in like Prince Daddy has that green hoodie. Okay. The green Prince Daddy hoodie.
Okay.
And I know Mac Seal made a shirt that was like the exact same color scheme and the exact same font, but it just said Max Seal instead of Prince Daddy, or Prince Daddy and the Hyena. But I remember talking to Sim at one point about like maybe doing a shirt that was the exact same as the Prince Daddy shirt, but instead of Prince Daddy and the Hyena, it just said like Insiggy and the Baby or something like that.
I like it. That's Insignificant Other. That's you play.
I play guitar in
yeah.
Insignificant Other. Yeah. One time when I was my old band, I used to play in this band called Latin for Truth a long time ago.
Latin for Truth.
Latin for Truth.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were friends with a pop punk band from Knoxville, Tennessee called On My Honor.
Okay.
And Latin for Truth had made a shirt where at one point, out of some of the shirts we made for a tour, one was like, it was this picture of me holding a bunch of kittens that our drummer had taken.
Okay.
And so it was just like a black and white print of that picture, and it just said Latin for Truth like in small letters under it.
Okay.
And when On My Honor played their last shows, they like decided to, you know, call it quits on that band. And when they played their last show, they did a shirt that was the exact same shirt, like the picture of me, and it still said Latin for Truth under it, but it was crossed out with a red line, and then it said On My Honor under that. I thought that was like one of the funniest things.
That's pretty
ever.
great. It's
if anyone has that shirt,
Inception
I want to
shirt?
see one.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That's like a I don't know, some weird like Nathan for You type.
Yeah.
Type.
I think split or collab merch is like I think it could be a cool like untapped market.
Yeah, I mean fucking like streetwear.
Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah,
you know?
like brands collab all the time. I want to do a band shirt. I don't care what band it's for, but I want to do a band shirt where it's like a collaboration with a brand. I've always thought that would be so cool, like a more like underground, maybe like streetwear brand or something, having a shirt or a whole line of shirts, like a whole drop.
Yeah.
That's just like my band and that brand's collaboration.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be so cool.
Is there a brand you would want to do it with?
Are
you deep into the streetwear?
I like
scene?
streetwear. I also like a lot of like more like high fashion oriented streetwear. I'm definitely like my fashion taste is shit that I will never be able to afford.
Right, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But like, so like as far as like streetwear brands go, I'm like more familiar with like Off-White and like Vetements and like those just really weird kind of like out there streetwear brand like companies. They're like high fashion brands, houses or whatever, but they make like streetwear influenced stuff.
Yeah. Or
like Y3 is Yoji Yamamoto's like collaboration with Adidas. I really like that. I have a jacket, a Y3 jacket that I really like. And I mean, like, ideally, yeah, I would love to do a fucking shirt with Off-White. But like, I don't have my finger on the pulse of like current, more underground streetwear brands, to be honest. Like, I know there was one out of Atlanta I liked for a while called Narcotic, but I don't even know if they're still around or not. Because it's a very expensive passion, I guess.
For sure.
Like making clothes, that shit costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So like, I can imagine that shit would be like hard to upkeep, you know?
I remember I got super into like denim and like jeans and stuff. That was, I think, did you ever watch that show on HBO, How to Make It in America? It had Kid Cudi in it.
I've heard of that before. Yeah.
It's pretty much this guy trying to make this like this denim company happen for himself, and it was all like, oh, we just heard that there's a freighter coming in with, you know, these Japanese blossom denim, whatever. And,
Just some like super exclusive like
something
black market
insane.
textile type shit.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is a whole world I have no idea about.
Yeah.
Oh shit. There's what is it? Memory Lane. Here?
Memory Lane is dope. They have some good clothes and good shoes. I've bought a couple pairs of shoes from Memory Lane. I also really like hold on.
It's okay.
I got to make sure I get the name right because I'm not going to do my homie like this.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know it, but then I would say it and mess it up. Magic City Mercantile.
Ooh,
They're
okay.
like in 5 Points. Like real close to like Zydeco and that shit. And they have a lot of cool like vintage stuff and shoes and like streetwear, like consignment streetwear type shit. Like they'll have like Supreme and like Palace and shit like that.
Yeah. I've been following Memory Lane, or I just followed them on Instagram, and I like their I don't know if they're drops, you would call them that, but it's like them saying, we got this Bape shirt for
right
whatever, and we got this size, and
I got my first pair of Yeezys from Memory Lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
What Yeezys were they?
They're the 500s, the Desert Rat.
Okay.
Or wait, was it it's either the Desert Rat or the Salts 500s. I loved those shoes. I've worn the fuck out of them. They're like my beaters now, honestly.
Yeah.
Like my two go-to pair like shoes I would wear to the firehouse
Okay.
are my Yeezys and like my old Air Force Ones.
Okay.
That I've had for like 6 years. They're beat all to shit. I've literally, one time I used to like, if I wanted them to look better, they still would look bad, but like if I wanted them to look better, I would just spray paint them solid white. I'd like take the laces out and go out on my porch and just hit them with white spray paint and just do like 2 or 3 coats over the course of like 12 hours, and they looked, hey,
I'm sure it looks good.
yo,
Yeah.
they looked crispy.
Unless
like, that's all I'm saying.
somebody's
Right, like nobody's about to get all up in my shit. Like
at the firehouse. Yeah, just,
right. So my firehouse shoes are my Yeezys and my Air Force Ones. The rest of them, I've made the mistake of wearing nice shoes to the firehouse, and it was a mistake.
I bet.
For sure. That's why. Shout out Jay from Joy Boy. He's restoring my Hyper Royals right now because I got them nice and fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many shoes, or like shoes you consider like nice, I guess, or higher end that you got?
Well, my Hyper Royals are fucking fake. Jay confirmed that for me the other day.
Did you think they were real?
I was pretty sure they weren't real.
Okay.
Because like I got way too good of a deal on them. So I'm like fine with wearing replicas. Like obviously I don't want to wear like really busted looking like fake shoes, like Canal Street shit or something.
Yeah.
But like, I'm fine with replicas. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And like Jay, I guess, has been like studying this shit because he was like inspecting them and
smelling it and looking at the
I don't know about smelling it, but yeah, he was like he did this one. He like squeezed the sole, and they like bent way too easy, and he was like, "Oh yeah, these are fake." And I was like, "Yep, that's fair." No one has ever been able to tell other than him, and it took him like 45 seconds of inspection off my foot to do so. Yeah. So like, I don't give a fuck when I'm out. People are like, "Yo, those shoes are dope," and I'm like, "Yeah, they are. Thank you." And for all they know, it's a $500 pair of Hyper Royal ones. You know?
You just keep moving your feet around. And somebody notices something like, oh yeah.
Oh, these.
Oh, no, yeah.
So, but like nice shoes. Honestly, I've downsized my. I just sold a bunch of shit. I have like my Yeezys, but they're beat to hell. I have a pair of Gucci sneakers. That my old roommate Katie got me for either my birthday or Christmas one year, because we both had that student loan refund money.
Oh hell yeah!
And we were trying to one up each other. Like I got her a pair of Louboutins for like her birthday or something, so she got me a pair of Gucci sneakers for my birthday.
Yeah.
They're too small though, because European sizing is all fucked up. So I've only worn them like 5 times, because every time I wear them, I know it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, I guess it probably makes more sense. It's centimeters probably, so it's like, I wear a 60, not a 45. Yeah, it's a deep world to get into, and like I recently watched the Sneaker Con / Complex Con Channel 5.
Yeah,
and they're talking
I haven't
about.
Seen that one
it's
yet.
good. It's if you're into.
I'm sure. I love Channel 5.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's people. It's like, geez, how do people have like? I don't know. I guess it's like anything else where they're in this world of trading or selling shoes.
Right.
Like, I've got a $10,000 pair of whatever.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I remember like there's another shoe shop right in 5 Points. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they do shoe repairs and like restorations and stuff, and then they also sell like really nice shoes. And it's one of those places like when you go in, they're all on the shelves and they're like shrink wrapped.
Oh yeah,
you know, like those are like relic. And they had a pair of off-white Chicago Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
And I remember like, now I don't think they're worth this much. Like I think they've decreased in value over the years, but I mean this was like 2018 or 2019 when I saw them there.
Yeah.
And they were like a $9,500 pair of sneakers at that point. And I'm like, dude, I would be scared. I wouldn't want to wear that. Like maybe for a photo shoot or something, but like I'm not going to take those down the sidewalk.
You put the little the Dickies, like the hospital Dickies on.
Yeah,
your shoe.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah, like in the.
Have you ever seen those memes of like dudes at Travis Scott concerts putting like Walmart bags over their Cactus Jack Jordans?
I can't get my Cactus Jacks in the mud,
right?
You know. Yeah, I did. Whenever the Yeezy Gap stuff started happening, I did. Mm-hmm. I bought the big puffer jacket. I was just like, dude,
puffer jacket is like if that's one of the few like really expensive pieces I still own. Like I had some t-shirts and stuff that I've lost over the years. That's why t-shirts are such a bad investment for me, but I love them.
For
sure. But I have my Y3 jacket is a puffer jacket, and I got it on clearance, and it was still like way too much money.
Yeah.
But that's like the one like really nice piece of like fashion wear that I still have.
Yeah, and it's like you said, like investing in the stuff, and the seasons. Literally, there are seasons for clothes,
right?
And you can't go out in the 2021 Kanye puffer jacket. Oh. You get laughed.
See,
get laughed out.
See, I'm not that like.
Nah, man.
Yeah, some people are. I'm sure, like rich people, but I don't have those kind of worries.
Hell no.
I'm like, yeah, this is a 93 YSL, but it's still YSL. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I wish I had some 93 YSL.
Me and my girlfriend Britt were finishing up a night at Mom's basement, and
I'm sorry.
I was a little tipsy, but it was like I was like on the. I had recently gotten a Crocs. Crocs.
I got to get a new pair of Crocs. Oh, yeah. My dog fucked mine up.
Yeah, the cats are getting at this one. But I was on the.
I saw you have the carrots one.
Those are dope. I love it. Yeah, that's my high end fashion. The carrots, Crocs.
Dude, they go hard.
I like them, man. I bought the carrot sling bag.
Nice.
Carrot it up, but I was like, Brad, I want to buy you something nice. I want to buy you the Balenciaga Croc heels.
Yo,
but
tell me you bought them.
No, they're luckily for me, they're out of her size.
Oh, those go so crazy.
Yeah.
Balenciaga also did the platform Crocs.
Yeah.
Those are insane as well.
Yeah, and they have the the Croc boot, like the waiter. Like,
oh, I haven't seen that one.
I think
that's crazy.
Yeah, they look cool. They look cool too, but it's like fuck. $700, like the heels were like $650 or something. And I was like,
$650 for a pair of Croc heels.
Yeah, and I was like,
that's nuts.
Man. Yeah, but if they make Shrek ear, like whatever trinkets or whatever they call the like.
Oh, the things you put on your Crocs.
Yeah,
giblets.
Giblets. Yeah. And so I was like, if I get you these Croc heels, you got to wear the Shrek giblets in it.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe one day. I'm on the Balenciaga newsletter now.
Yeah?
Just waiting for the heel drop.
The other day I got this email from like, what fucking brand was it? Some like crazy, I can't remember what it was, but I got this random email from some high fashion brand. It wasn't Balenciaga. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, the email was just like, we're sorry to inform you that we can't schedule an appointment right now. And I was like, what the fuck was I trying to schedule an appointment for?
You're trying to get that.
I was like trying to get the early drop on some fucking Gucci. Like,
you're trying to get to the Gucci house, and next thing you know, they're measuring everything, and
that would be crazy.
You got an entire Gucci skin tight suit.
I'm waiting for the day I get to have I guess you wouldn't call it a costume budget. What would you call it? A fashion budget?
I like costume budget better.
Costume budget? Yeah. It's kind of a costume. Yeah, if I got to the point where like I was in a band and we had like a music video and they're like, all right, what clothes are we getting you for the music video?
Ooh.
I'm like, that sounds crazy to me. Like when I think of like especially, like a lot of like rappers I like will do like kind of like a version of product placement almost for like brands in their but like for fashion brands in their videos. It's like, they got like the Montclair jacket and like all that shit. That's what I'm trying to be on. Like, I want someone from Vetements to hit me up. Ooh. And they're like, yo, can we send you these? And I'm like, yeah, I guess
maybe
so.
Whatever. I don't know.
I might wear them. Yeah. Secretly, I'm like foaming at the fucking mouth.
I'm gonna forward you to my assistant.
Yeah. I'll have my people call your people.
There you go. Yeah, there's a cool it seems like there's a cool blending right now, and I'm sure it's been going on for a while of like hardcore and more artsy.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Turnstile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Turnstile fans. Turnstile having like the like just like general cool kid appeal. Like it's not just like if you're into hardcore, everybody who listens to hardcore knows who Turnstile is.
100%.
But it's still so like I'm pretty sure Turnstile is the biggest hardcore band in the world right now. I would have to assume.
I think they would have to.
I mean, they were fucking on network television. Twice.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're into hardcore, Turnstile is like what some people would call an entry level band, which I think is a lame ass diss to a band because there's a reason bands get popular if they rule, if a band is awesome.
I think it's more like accessible than like entry level.
Exactly. And that's like that appeal that Turnstile has is how accessible they are.
Yeah.
Like my mom loves the new Turnstile album and she does not like, she actually hates, she likes a lot of like alternative music, but she doesn't like hardcore. If people are like screaming and shit, she's not into it.
Jesse, why you got this screaming? Exactly. Why you gotta scream?
But she likes the Turnstile album.
Yeah.
And they played so like they're so accessible, but it's still hardcore. So like I feel like as people who are like privy, is that the right use of that word? Privy? Like knowledgeable
in the know,
in the know of the hardcore scene, Turnstile is like this entry level band, but to like random 17-year-olds on TikTok,
right?
Turnstile is like still a very like underground, like cool band. So I feel like they like crossed over into like cool kid territory.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the fashion influence, I think, is it comes from that. Because I mean, if hardcore fashion was infiltrating, if it was like the opposite direction, you'd have, kids on TikTok wearing camo shorts and like
Random NBA jerseys.
Yeah, like.
Oh shit! I did. Did you go to Furnace Festival?
Mm-hmm. I did. It was something.
It was. I've never. Whenever it was first a thing, I was 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, like way back in the day.
Yeah, but then when it came back last year, I was also. I didn't go last year, but I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I was just thinking it just brought me. I felt like a lot of teenage Michael was coming out of like, or just like reminiscing about like, shit, I remember like I went and saw Bleeding Through.
Right.
And I was
Dude, their
like,
set was crazy.
It was great.
I was never like a big fan of them. Not like in a derogatory way. I just never did like the dive.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I of course knew who they are, but I never really like listened to their records. But I watched their set and they were
great.
insane.
It was like
and what's cool is they don't look like a hardcore band. They look
really?
like a arena rock band. Like the dude had like the leather vest and the keyboard players fucking like doing the whipping around headbang. Shit was sick.
The singer is just jacked as fuck.
Dude, yeah.
But like, yeah, that was like whenever This Is Love, this is like their first big album came out. I was 16 or something. So that was like
right.
That was like, this is the best fuck. When I first heard it, I was like, that's the best band in the world.
Right.
Why is it, so I don't know. Were there any bands like that at Furnace Fest that you saw their sets of?
This year, I'm trying to think of like, I missed the Impending Doom set, but I heard it was not that great, to be honest.
I didn't go to
They
that
did
one.
So like that era of like Christian metalcore was like very formative to me when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was like 12, 13, I was into like all like My Children, My Bride, Sleeping Giant, Impending Doom, like so many bands of that era or whatever. So I was really excited to see them. I ended up not being able to get off work in time to see them, but Elliot told me they didn't even play anything off of Nailed Dead Risen, which like that's like the album that I love by that band. Which I mean, like, shout out them, they're still doing it. I'm not talking shit, but I would have
play the hits.
Like if you're at the festival where the whole marketing of the festival is like, oh, it's nostalgia, old people, nostalgia, you know, like play the old songs.
Right.
Yeah, the Acacia Strain. The Acacia Strain had such a good fucking set at Furnace Fest because they played some new stuff, but they really busted out like the fucking hits. And that dude, the vocalist for the Acacia Strain, is like, his stage presence is so good. His charisma stats are just like maxed out.
Yeah,
and he's still killing it. They've been a band for like over 20 years now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer over 20 years, but I feel like it's been a long ass time. Because I remember the Acacia Strain was around when I first started listening to heavy music at all, and I was 12 at that point, you know. So,
did you go see Maylene? Sons of
I watched a good bit of Maylene's set. I didn't watch the whole thing. I mean, but I had to watch some of it. That's like that's Alabama history. Like
that's
you
like
know,
it's like it might as well be like I don't know, fucking Hank Senior has risen from the dead.
Right, yeah.
And he's playing at Lost Furnace.
They had like sound issues though.
Like the mic didn't work.
Yeah, like apparently Dallas's vocals weren't like working at all for like 3 whole songs. Yeah. And I remember while I was watching, people were chanting like, fix the mic, fix the mic. But I guess they got it worked out. They seemed to be having a lot of sound issues that whole weekend, because during the Acacia Strain set too, like the whole PA would turn off for a couple seconds, and like all you could hear was like the cabs on stage and the drums, and then it would randomly come back in a few seconds later. But
it's weird.
I mean, I can't imagine the fucking logistics,
the infrastructure of like, we're in this fucking old factory, you know, one of the main stages, or there's 3 stages, the second biggest stage, I guess, is in the factory. Yeah. Right, so it's like
the shed.
Yeah, you just got like fucking daisy chain of generators, right? Like, how does that work?
I don't know, but honestly, from this year, the Acacia Strain was a big one. Even though I've seen that band before, but it had been a long time since I'd seen them.
Yeah.
They were really, really good. Who else? They're finally getting to see Manchester was cool, but it was also like a different vibe, like from a lot of the bands that I was seeing that day. Like, cause like I just kind of sat on the grass and just like vibed. I was like smoking a joint, just chilling.
Yeah.
What was the question you were going to ask me about Christian metalcore?
Oh yeah.
I love talking about Christian metalcore.
Well, listening to the Wielded Steel EP,
Okay.
I was like, man, this reminds me a lot of like Face Down Records. Like,
we're definitely like literally going for like early 2000s like, metalcore vibe.
Shockwave.
Like, honestly, like, I feel like metallic hardcore would even be like a better descriptor of like the sound we're going for, but I feel like nobody uses that as a genre anymore, and all the subgenres are so fucked like, you know, breakdown music.
Yeah.
I like songs that have breakdowns in them.
I like it. Yeah, it was reminding me of like there's a Face Down Fest DVD from like, I don't know, 2002 or something that I would like, you know, fucking destroyed just watching over and over. And
you remember that band? Do you remember that band Seventh Star? I'm pretty sure they were on Face Down. They were like meathead, like beat down hardcore, but for Jesus. It was so cool. I remember one time that band, they had a whole fucking weight bench in the parking lot of the venue. And I was like, this is so cool.
I love it.
And like, I'm pretty sure in their music video, it was literally them like lifting weights in somebody's yard, and there were like pit bulls on chains. Yeah. But they're like, Jesus is the Son of God. Like,
that's so.
And 12-year-old me was like, yes.
Yes. There's so many different things going on.
It's crazy how much Christianity permeated music back then, because there were Christian hardcore bands of like every subgenre of hardcore, because like Seventh Star was like gym shorts, like beat down hardcore. Impending Doom was like borderline grindcore, death metal type shit. There was that band X, Looking Forward X, that was like straight edge, like fast punk hardcore, but they were a Christian band. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, like, did you ever get into Shockwave?
I know that sounds mad familiar, but it's not ringing.
They had a gimmick of like, what do you call it? What the fuck? I'm having a brain fart. Not Terminators. What the fuck? What's the Megan Fox Transformers? I was like, what the the biggest movie ever, you know.
Now that you say that, yes, I do remember that.
So it was like they were like the bad guys, the Decepticons of Transformers. But if you listen to Shockwave, it reminded me a lot of the Wielded Steel EP.
Okay. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to it. Someone told me Zao. Is that how you say that band's name?
Zayo?
Zayo? Is it Zayo? I thought it was Zao. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that band either. Once again, not in like a I dislike them way. Like, I just never got super into it. I feel like it was like just slightly before my time.
Yeah. Like
by only like a year or two, probably.
Okay. Yeah, there's a Billy Corgan. Now I'm confused. There's a Billy Corgan like side project called, it's either Zayo or Zao, and then the other band is the O and the A are flopped.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the Christian metalcore band is ZAO, I think.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. That's what I was telling you. There's nobody.
One of my friends responded to like the new Wielded Steel song. It was like, this reminds me of that band. I'm not going to try to say their name again, but
yeah, that's why I need another person. It's just me.
I need a researcher. Yeah, someone off camera. Like all the podcasts I watch, they're like, Andrew, what was the
pull up the Face Down Fest 2002 lineup. I'm going to go through every band.
Yeah.
So, when did you have your first band?
So like my
Like where you're playing multiple shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I started a band when I was in 9th grade.
Right.
But
yeah.
all we did was sit in gym class and talk about like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? I don't even think we ever practiced. The first project I was in that played multiple shows was called When I'm Older. And I started it like by myself when I was in high school. It was like me just like recording acoustic songs on like GarageBand in my room. And when I graduated from high school, turned it into a band with some other people and started playing shows.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was when I was like, I started that project when I was like 16, but it didn't really become a band until I was like 18.
Yeah. Was that like a hardcore band? Or?
No, it was like, at first I was just like super influenced by just like sad acoustic music I was listening to at the time, which was like Andrew Jackson Jihad and like Bright Eyes and like stuff like that. Wingnut Dishwashers Union, all the folk punk bands. And so that was like what it was like born out of, was like literally I started learning guitar by covering like AJJ and Johnny Hobo and the Freight Trains and shit like that. And then I started writing my own songs and it sounded like that. And when I came home, when I graduated from high school and I moved back to Alabama, me and some friends started writing more stuff together, and I took some songs I had written and my friends helped me add stuff to them, took some songs they written, add stuff to them. And it kind of went in like almost like a rockabilly direction for a second. It wasn't my favorite direction ever, but there were still some cool songs on that project. And then I started that when it became a band. It was me and a couple members of Latin for Truth.
Oh, okay.
And then I joined Latin for Truth. And When I'm Older kind of took the back burner because we were doing a lot of touring with Latin for Truth at the time. Yeah. And then Latin for Truth, went our separate ways or whatever and started doing more with When I'm Older again.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't like When I'm Older, like, stopped being a band. It just wasn't as much. And then when Latin for Truth stopped being a band, we did, like, a few When I'm Older tours. We recorded another album, and then that album went in, like, a completely different direction, too. That one was kind of, like, I don't know, it was similar to some emo stuff I hear now, but I didn't really know that at the time. Like, I wasn't plugged into like Midwest emo or anything like that at the time. I mean, I liked I guess at that point in time was like right when like modern baseball was getting popular and like the Front Bottoms were getting popular, and I definitely listened to those bands and it had like a little bit of influence on it, but it was also a lot louder than any of those bands.
Those are like, I think of like acoustic-y, quieter.
Yeah, it's like
emo.
Both of those bands were like, it was like acoustic guitar but with drums, you know, like but I think that was the Front Bottoms' whole thing at first, is that they were a two-piece, and the one dude played acoustic guitar and sang, and the other guy played drums. And that definitely had some influence on like that stuff I was writing at that time, but our stuff was like a lot louder and heavier in certain ways, and like we played shows with hardcore bands a lot with that band towards the end. And that band, out of all the bands I've been in, I'm pretty sure that one had like the longest active period. Even though some parts of it were less active, like we were still technically a band the whole time. And we played our last show so I started it when I was 16, so that was 2009. Okay. And it ended in 2017. 17, I think.
Okay.
So like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
That was a band.
Yeah, it's
Technically.
yeah, it's being in bands is weird.
It
is. Just, it's a relationship with these people.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
for better or for worse, you're in a relationship with somebody.
Sometimes it's for worse.
Sometimes
When I think about certain people I was in bands with
slides into
10
worse
years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just strange. Unless, and like it's tough to explain unless like it's tough to explain like touring on like a DIY level.
On a DIY, because like I remember when I would tell my family members
Going
and
on
stuff
tour,
when I was first started touring with Latin for Truth, I would be like, yeah, we're going on tour.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wow, Rockstar.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so much money.
I'm like, I sleep in a van most nights, and I steal food from gas stations to eat. Like, it is not Rockstar shit. It's such a terrible idea, honestly. I like it. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have. I mean, there are parts of it I would change, but I wouldn't change it overall. That was such a cool thing to do with like my late teens, early 20s. Like, but I can't imagine the thousands of dollars I just burned just doing that for years.
Yeah, it's like it's like an abusive relationship. You hear people talk. Well, in this way, when you hear people talk about abusive relationships, where it's like, man, when they're good, it's incredible, but when they're bad, it's real bad. Yeah. I didn't for a second. I didn't think you had a shirt on underneath, and I was like, all right.
That would be an insane.
Jess is getting real comfortable. Yeah. I don't. There's an ashtray somewhere.
I'll just do this.
Or you can use this guy.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
I'm done with that. Yeah. So what? I just me and my girlfriend moved up to Birmingham 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And the scene up here, just like all music, it seems like a lot of people support each other.
Yeah, that's like the vibe we try to go for.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't care about like scene politics. I'm sure they're seeing politics and drama and everything, like every scene.
I don't know shit about that.
I don't know shit about that. Never heard it.
No. Yeah, I feel like everybody's like, ever since. I have to keep myself from saying ever since the pandemic ended, because I hear people say that and it tries to slip into my brain, and then I remember like that's technically not true. But ever since things have started to return to a sense of normalcy, you have all these kids who just didn't have shit to do for 2 years, and so now everybody just wants to go to shows, and it's awesome, and everybody is down for whatever. Like everybody. For the most part, like everybody tries to put everybody else on. It's very much like a we can all eat type situation, like we don't have to fight for scraps. Like we can do this shit. Yeah. And that's like an important thing, I think, is like realizing it's like, oh, we can all be here. Like this is fine. Like we just put each other on, you know? Like
there's not surprised, but it's like refreshing to see like how many shows are constantly going on.
Oh yeah.
And like and now
can't
like
fucking get away from them sometimes. I'm tired.
Like I just want to sleep.
Literally.
But it's like so there's like,
sometimes you just got to message somebody and be like, yo, kill it tonight. I'm tired.
Good luck. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I'm approaching mid-30s, so I'm like I just kind of want.
But that's a good problem to have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like. The fact that there are like too many shows in Birmingham, like.
Yeah, coming from a scene where it's like tough to get locals because like that fucking bands.
Yeah.
You thought a band that just started was like going strong and like they broke up like a month ago.
No, there's it's pretty dope.
Yeah, like cool venues like. Even the DIY like fucking Firehouse,
the Hatch.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
The Hatch is a house.
Yeah,
right?
it's a basement.
Yeah.
That's where we played on Friday.
Yeah, that looks sick.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I can't keep this shit lit to save my life. It's what I get for trying to pack the tiniest little cone ever.
You need a tiny roach clip.
Yeah.
Like the fancy like French cigarette holder roach clip.
Like the long ones. Those were based. I just saw a TikTok the other day that said that those were specifically for women, so that they didn't get ash on their dresses. I could see that. Because at the time, I guess it was more common for like a dude to just smoke a pipe. Like dudes didn't smoke cigarettes. Dudes smoked pipe.
No, you can't. You see a guy smoking a cigarette, you're thinking, what's going on here?
Female behavior. No,
fellas, is it gay to smoke a cigarette?
Is it? I don't know, dude. I saw you on that cigarette. It's a little sus.
Oh man. But yeah,
but
like,
Birmingham scene is awesome. Yes, yeah, that's what you're saying.
Oh man, like, and like I don't know, Saturn. There's bigger bands coming through, and Avondale. You know,
I've only been to like 2 shows at Avondale.
Really?
I went and saw Phoebe Bridgers there.
Ooh.
That was dope.
Nice.
And then I went and saw what's that band? Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Okay, yeah.
Which I did not.
I know them in name. I don't know any
same.
music.
I'd only heard their name. I had never like consciously listened to their music. I thought they were like, I think because of their name, I thought it was like an EDM thing, like festival, like Basshead EDM type shit. But it's like, it's more of like a psychedelic rock type thing. Not exactly like a jam band, but like jam band adjacent.
Do they have like 8 members, or like are there a lot of them?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I wasn't even really looking. I was just kind of sitting around smoking weed.
I got you.
And I was like, this sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, and I don't know, just like the first show I went to was that Wielded Steel. What's the touring band? I can't pronounce their name. Sagwin.
Oh, Sanguisugabog.
Yeah, I can never pronounce it.
Yeah, Sanguisugabog.
Yeah, I remember like
the Bog. You can just say the Bog.
The Bog. That was the first show.
That show was crazy.
Yeah, when we moved here, and I was like, okay, well, it's a Monday. Shows don't sell out on Mondays.
That shit was packed.
I know. I was like, what the fuck?
We had to start.
Turning people away.
We had to start turning people away. Yeah, we've had to be a little bit more strict about capacity at the Firehouse.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. Because like, you know, you don't want nobody getting hurt.
You don't want somebody falling out.
Right. So that show, I remember, they had to turn away a bunch of people from that show, which sucked. I don't want to turn anyone away from a show ever. That's why I wish I was talking to CJ about this. Like, I was like, we need a spot that's like bigger than the Firehouse, but not as big as Saturn.
Yeah.
And I hope that can happen. I don't know. I know nothing about
I don't know how
building acquisition. Like, what do you? I don't even know how you would start with that. I've been involved in the scene in a lot of ways in my life, but that is not one of them.
You're not going into buildings, checking pipes, and making sure.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking. But like, if anybody does know that, I'd love to talk to them.
Holler.
Yeah.
Do you have a venue name? A dream venue name, if you were to make
dream venue name?
What would you call it?
I don't think I've ever thought of a name before. I used to I love cooking a lot, so I used to want to open up like a place that was like a restaurant / venue.
Oh.
But that shit's expensive, dude. I don't.
Yeah, it's pricey.
Yeah, like I don't know about all that, but I want to. So I remember specifically when I first stopped eating meat, I wanted to the concept of like a greasy junk bar food, but vegan wasn't that popular at that time, because this was like 2010.
Oh yeah.
Now that's like every other vegan restaurant is like, especially when you're on tour, dude. Every time you go to a city, someone's like, oh, you got to check out this vegan restaurant. And you're like, cool, yeah. And you go, and it's always
double
vegan
cheeseburger.
It's always vegan fried chicken sandwiches with tater tots. Like, And it's like, yeah, that's dope. It's always delicious.
Of course.
But like after like 6 days in a row of that, my body's like, if you don't eat a fucking vegetable soon, you're gonna die.
Right. Yeah.
Like I have to like force myself to eat vegetables on tour, because when I'm home it's no problem because I have a fridge.
Yeah.
And I can cook. But like when you're on tour, it's so hard not to eat garbage.
Yeah.
Because like cheap, accessible vegan food
Not
is
a
like,
lot of it. Yeah.
it's few and far between. It's always places that are like expensive, and they're either like super health food focused or they're like the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's it's a weird, because whenever I started hearing about veganism in fucking, I don't know, the early 2000s, mid 2000, is like all of it's like, we got this fake bacon. It doesn't
right. It looks like a dog treat.
Yeah, it tastes smoky, but it's like
it tastes smoky, and that's about it.
We got the liquid smoke, you know, on the.
Now it's like, super way more accessible, which is dope. But also like I just wish there was like a fast food place that just had like, even if it was literally like just steamed broccoli or something, like I'm sure it would be garbage, but just, why can't I just get like some green beans or something? I guess if you go to like fried chicken places, they have green beans as sides, but I don't know if a lot of times those places have like bacon and everything on the menu.
Yeah. So. And it's like, and if you're like, because I've been on tour with vegan friends, and it's like some are super like, oh, how was this prepared? Like, was this prepared in the same pan? That there's butter in the old pan or whatever. And like, are you that strict?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No. I'm just vegetarian right now.
Oh, okay.
I fell off of being fully vegan. I want to go back to being fully vegan.
It's tough, yeah.
But I got like, when I was like staying out at my mom's.
Yeah.
She gets like chickens from like her, like, or not chickens. I didn't eat chicken. I still haven't eaten meat. Like, in like on purpose. I just had a fucking dude. Taco Bell put beef on my shit the other day, and
Did you have to eat it? Did you eat it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I took one bite and I was like,
you're like, oh, there's beef in this.
Yeah, and I was like, God, I was so fucking pissed off. But like I was living with my mom, and she's like, you want a scrambled egg sandwich for breakfast? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then
slippery slope.
Yeah. But I eat vegan like the majority of the time.
Yeah.
But I need to go back because like I feel like shit about it, because I was just like, I don't eat animals for like moral reasons.
Morally, yeah.
So like I feel like a fucking piece of shit. I have so much self-hatred about it, but I need to do it.
Yeah.
But no, I could never. I don't think I could ever eat meat for real. Like it's. I just don't see myself ever doing that again.
Yeah.
It fucking grosses me out at this point.
I got you.
Just as a concept. Like, obviously the taste doesn't gross me out because I eat Impossible Burgers all the time and it tastes it. But yeah, that shit just, it like bums me out on a fundamental level, and I'm like, damn, I'm still contributing to this in a way I really need to stop.
Yeah.
But then you'll get people who are like, well, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism at all. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just like cows. Like, like I think cows are really cute.
Yeah. It's like, we live in a capitalistic world. What do you want me to do? You know?
Yeah. I still eat vegan, like the vast majority of the time. And sometimes, especially if it's free.
Right.
Like if someone offers me food for free.
It's tough to turn down.
And it's just vegetarian, but it's not vegan. I'm like,
get that.
Yeah, like you made cookies. Okay, like.
Do you have a go-to vegan meal that you like make if you're just like at the house?
Probably like my most common go-to is just like fucking stir fries, because it's so easy. Because you can just make a big pot of rice and keep it in the fridge, and then you just chop up whatever you got. Yeah, and just throw it in there. I have this problem where like I never want to cook the same thing twice. I love cooking and I love like learning new recipes, but like because I'm always wanting to try something new, I like end up not making stuff. Like I don't have like a signature dish, like, you know, like I feel like that's like
Jesse's cauliflower stir fry.
Right, exactly. I need to craft a signature dish, but I would say the closest thing I have to that would be just stir fries or curries.
Yeah,
stews. I make a lot of stews.
Let's get you a pot going.
Just vegan soup is so fucking easy because you just like, it's just like a bunch of vegetables and liquid, and it's probably going to be fine. Like most combinations are fine. You can do like stock, and then you can do some oat milk, and then you do some broccoli and some potatoes, and you blend it all up, and it's fucking, it'll probably be good. Like it's
have you been to the Slutty Vegan yet?
Yeah, I went to the one. I've been to the one in Atlanta before, but I went to the one in Birmingham a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we went a couple weeks ago.
The food is pretty good.
It's great. Yeah,
it's fucking insane actually how good the food is. But like, it's also one of those things. Like that's what I was talking about. Slutty Vegan is every major city in the country has like their version of a Slutty Vegan now. Even like mid-sized cities like Birmingham, we got Underground Vegan and Slutty Vegan. Yeah. Both great, amazing businesses, but not like it's not something you want to eat every day.
Every day.
You know? Yeah,
twice a day, whatever.
And when you're on tour, that's where everyone wants to take you.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm in pain. I need Whole Foods hot bar asparagus.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's way more thought. I'm not good planning stuff. Not a big fan of. I'll plan some stuff. Mm-hmm. But like dietary restrictions, that's why it doesn't work for me.
Hey, to each their own.
It's tough.
Yeah. You're just I just think you're terrible and evil and a bad person.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I got cats. You see, I'll bring the cats out here right now. They'll tell you how good it is here. They got the people can't see it, but there's a new 2-story cat scratching house.
That's nice.
Yeah.
My cat never gave a shit about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd like buy her something nice, and she'd be like, "Yeah, fuck that. Do you have like a rubber band?"
They fucking go through these things, these little scratching boxes.
Yeah.
But we've done like an hour.
Oh shit! Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That's true.
Is this a part where I'm supposed to like actually plug something?
You can
like
plug whatever.
Wielded Steel, split with No Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Birmingham, Alabama hardcore in general.
Forever.
And
are there list off some cool Birmingham bands that people should check out?
Snake Church.
Okay.
No Cure, Apprehend, Born, Joy Boy, Writhing Shadows, Defense Wound, Mood Room, Faux Deep, Force Neglect. God, there's so goddamn many bands. Dude. There's so someone asked Wielded Steel for the little split we did with No Cure, like some little press email. Where's my phone? Because I wrote it down. I typed out almost every band I could think of. I lost my. Oh, there it is. Hold on, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna read it.
So that you listed out every.
I tried so hard to think of like all the other hardcore bands, but I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting. And maybe I'll remember it. I can't find it.
That's all good.
Dude, there's a million fucking amazing bands in Birmingham. Not just hardcore.
Right.
Other genres too. And there's dope ass DJs in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Shout out Steve-O. Dope ass rappers in Birmingham. Shout out Griff.
Okay.
Jason. I'm not gonna shout out Big Yavo because we're not like friends, but he's from Birmingham. And he's dope as fuck. What else? The Insiggy's going on tour with Origami Angel.
Oh yeah, when does that start?
I leave for that in like a week.
Ooh, nice.
Soon. First day is October 14th.
Everywhere in the U.S.?
Yeah, full U.S.
Canada?
One show in Canada.
Nice.
I'm going to Canada for the
Hell
first
yeah.
time. Last time I did not get to go to Canada.
Okay.
I had to hang out with my friend Eli in Rochester, New York for 3 days.
That's right.
Shout out Eli. That was dope. Had a great time.
Yeah,
just ordering Chinese food.
Borders, especially the Canadian
one. I got my
one.
passport. I'm going to Toronto. Yeah.
They don't play.
Insiggy going on tour with Origami Angel and Pool Kids. Wielded Steel. Split with No Cure just came out. We're putting out another EP soon. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. It's exciting.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Jesse. Yeah.
It was cool.
Hell yeah. Well, Jesse, you had options, but you decided to talk to me. I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you for giving me the option.
Hell yeah.